recording and start streaming. What's going on, everybody? Military Fuckery here. We got our normal guy, Doc on Zed.
Not very normal, but yeah.
Not very normal, but we do have a special guest tonight. We're welcoming John Davis onto the show, the creator of Terminal Boots. How we doing tonight, man?
I'm doing just fine and dandy. I'm drinking a Truly, and it's giving me flashbacks of both, Four Locos and Strongs. If you remember what Strongs are,
I do.
you know.
Okinawa's fun.
Well, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
it's not a White Claw, at least.
Same shit.
yeah. I never got into White Claws.
It tastes like you're
Alcoholic
drinking,
static.
and someone's yelling the flavor in the next room. Yeah. He's
Yeah,
like, oh, I love my pineapple White Claw. I'm like, oh, I really love the fact that the only taste it has is the aftertaste. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fucking amazing, Julie. I love your super base drink. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to drinking a 40 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Cultured swine I am.
I like the taste of knockoff Kool-Aid and baby medicine.
Oh,
It's
hell
like,
yeah,
let me just
dude.
get an alcoholic LaCroix.
So, I mean, the first question that I gotta ask you, man, is what made you want to start the whole entire Terminal Boots kind of the YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff? Because you guys got pretty big.
Well, yeah, and when we started it, we never had the intention of making it that big. Um, I remember us getting excited about it making its rounds throughout the battalion. And it's like, oh my god, like everyone in the battalion is like watching this. It's so crazy.
Sure.
And we were content with that. So it was never about making it big. It was about having fun, expressing ourselves. But the I guess the start of it had it didn't start with like a roundtable discussion. Deacon at first when he was in ITB, he just fucking around and making jokes and everything, and he with someone else, a man by the name of Seth Durando, they had the idea of like, oh, what if we had like a sketch series? Like, what would we call it? And it was like, oh, well, I can't come up with an original name on our own, so Terminal Lance is already well known, but we're never going to see combat because it's like just that time of the war's dying down, so we'll always be Terminal Boots. We'll end our contracts never having seen combat. So they had that idea, and then they hit the fleet. They never started a YouTube channel or anything like that. And then, but me and Joe, we're friends with Deacon, and Joe kind of comes up with this like, because the song "Teach Me How to Dougie" was was big at that time. So
Makes me feel so old.
yeah, so like I know, yeah. So here's like a little side example. We in our platoon, we would like replace lyrics of certain songs with like stuff that was either like going on in the platoon or just like with the Marine Corps, to make it funny. So like we had a NCO of ours. His name at the time was Corporal Nona, and if you remember the song like "Bitches Love Sosa"
Yep.
song,
Yep.
we would sing like "Bitches love Nona, MREs and soda, fucking with the blue boys, you gonna get fucked over. Duty and Rover, you can pick the Nona." Yeah. So that was one little thing, and then Joe Jewett, he came up with the "Teach Me How to O3," and he came up with that first line. It's like, they be like, "Jew Bear, can you teach me how to O3?" You know why? Because I'm in the infantry. And we like that. So like I helped build on top of that, and we sort of made it into this whole song. And then like that kind of like went around the company, and it's like, you should you should see Lance Corporals Jewett and Davis do this thing. It's pretty entertaining. The junior Marines are getting quite rowdy. So we're like, hey, let's get in the back of an LAV when we should actually be outside, cleaning the ramp. But let's hide from our NCOs and film this thing in the back of an LAV 25. So that's what we did. And our very first video on that channel was us. We just put the instrumental track of "Teach Me How to Dougie" on a Bluetooth speaker, and we just rapped it. And it's so cringy watching it now.
You're like, wow, we were boots.
Yeah, I mean, this was May 2014 at the time. So
that was just before I hit the fleet. Or hit boot
yeah,
camp.
like I was a year and 2 months time in service at this point. I hadn't even been a Marine for a year at this point. So, yeah, we made this video, and then because Deacon and us two were friends, we were like, hey, Deacon, you had this idea of having a channel called like Terminal Boots. Like, well, what if we do this and kind of like put it on there, and this could be like the first video? And he was like, yeah, sure. And because I actually made videos in, like, I did the school news in high school, and I made a few other videos just like in my apartment in college, and so I wasn't completely new to it. So I built the channel, and I ended up doing all the editing and everything for all the videos, and doing the social media work. So yeah, that's how it started.
That's how it was born.
Made the channel, and then put on Teach Me How to 03, and then once that got big, we were like, well, we got to do something else. It's like, well, what do we make? Okay, well, what's something funny that is not original, and it's like a trend going around, and it would be easy to do. And it's like, okay, well, there's those videos going around of like shit people say.
Yeah,
it's like the first one was like shit girls say. I don't know if you remember that one. It was like, do you know anything about computers? Stuff like that.
Marine, demonstrate Micmac move number 11. Downward fist strike.
Yeah, so it was like, well, let's do shit Marines don't say in 29 poems. And and then it's like, and then we were like, oh, we got to keep doing this. We got to keep it up. And then I don't know, just like kept building and building. And and then as all good things do, it came to an end eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I got a question as like throughout when you started it, maybe when you were in your prime, did you ever like have a time to where you had like your chain of commands like, hey, you can't be doing that, or it's like that's not
dude,
professional?
I'm actually aware of that one. They got NJP for it.
I didn't. No, we never.
Oh, you
got
guys
NJP'd.
didn't?
We never got
Thank
NJP'd.
God. Thank God. I saw one of the videos and I was like, oh God.
So I guess one story I'm completely comfortable talking about. The other one I'll try to do it as I'll toe the line as much as possible. But
no worries.
The first the first time it was with Keeping It Gangster.
Oh yeah.
Video that we made.
Yep.
And I guess what was something that the problems that they had with it. It was like our first sergeant, talked to us, and this wasn't like we didn't officially get in trouble. It was just our first sergeant being like, "I have a problem with this. I want you to either move it or edit it." So it was like the Molotov cocktail that we had in the barracks. Even though it wasn't a real Molotov cocktail, we took a paper towel, we stuck it in a fucking like a Cobra 40 ounce, and just like lit it on fire. Like it wasn't a real Molotov. That, and then the beer boarding, which I mean that was real.
I don't think you can really fake that one.
Yeah. What else? Oh, oh, he said like destruction of government property. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, when you kick the chair over and threw the duty book like in the duty lounge. I'm like, I didn't destroy anything. But yeah, okay, whatever.
Hmm.
I kicked your chair over in your barracks room
Oh
in your
no, you
barracks
kicked a
lounge,
little
First
too
Sergeant.
hard. You kicked a
Why
little
you
too
kicking
hard
my
there.
barracks chair? So yeah,
The fucking IKEA like standard equipment, basically. Shit.
yeah, overpriced. Very
Oh
much.
god. Don't you love like how ordering some of this shit can be like $1,000 for a chair you can get from fucking IKEA?
The thing that I always talk about with GSA and ServMart is when I went into ServMart as like the company clerk, when like right before I left 29, I was like, oh my god, I understand why we're broke as a country.
All
A
right.
pack of a pack of index cards was $12.
Yep.
No fucking way. What?
No. A single one is like $12. And I wish that was major
Man,
I
I
forget
thought for a second
words.
you'd be
I've had
fucking
two
lying.
TBIs,
Okay,
so no.
so I don't know if you know what flexi cuffs are, but
Yep.
they're essentially they're fancy zip ties. Um, Granted, they do have like a metal center in them and everything, but
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I ordered. It was actually kind of like my idea. I was like, hey, all the scouts should have flexi cuffs. There was like a box of, I want to say it was either 50 or 100. Anyway, how much do you think it costs?
20,000.
Between 50 to 100?
$500.
No
Jesus.
fucking way.
I was way off at least.
Yeah.
That
Because
is
I remember doing
bonkers, man.
Yeah.
ordering ship parts, like a single lug nut was like $50.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now,
Well, anyway, hold on. Back to the, the censorship. Yeah, we were told to censor this video, so I took down the original one, and then I went in and I censored the Molotov cocktail. I censored the beer boarding, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck you, and I like censored the hands in the pockets thing, just as like a smart ass thing. Yeah.
hey, Marine, hands out of your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the second time that we got into trouble that was a lot bigger and more real, but it never culminated in a NJP. The punishment that I had, other than taking videos down and everything, is that I had to read the entire inch thick social media policy guidance of Headquarters Marine Corps.
Ah,
Then I had to sign a counseling, say that I read it and understood it. But the thing that kicked that off was the field day video. I don't know if
Oh,
you
I remember
watched
that one.
that one.
yep, I remember
When I
that.
say I was a fan,
So
man, I watched all your shit.
okay, so you're familiar.
Very.
Well, at the time when that was filmed, I was in AIC, which I guess it's AIMC now. It used to be called ISLIC, but I was in Camp Pendleton for like 2 months. During that time, Joe and Deacon went and they got like this. They borrowed this professional camera. They went to Combat Camera because they like knew someone there, and they like got an actual like really nice camera. And yeah, they filmed the part at the Fat Barracks, where we had a couple of friends who were Marines of the female variety, and then they went to our barracks, and they got a whole bunch of people in on it. And so they filmed it, and they did this whole long shot, and I didn't know, like, I only knew the basics of it, that we had this idea. But they came to visit me. Joe and Deacon came to visit me on a Saturday in Camp Pendleton, and they come into the squad bay in the 52 area, and like they, I put this DVD into my laptop, and like we open up and watch it. I'm just like, oh boy, like it's like we might get some shit for this. And I was like, whatever, like YOLO, and put it on there, and it fucking blew up. Um, everyone loved it except for the command, of course.
Yeah.
So fast forward maybe a week, a few days, something like that. I get called into the sergeant major's office of the battalion, and he tells me that, and these men are retired now, so I guess I can talk about it. He tells me that Sergeant Major Castle called him, who Brad Castle at the time was the sergeant major for First Meth, which was a step above division. Basically one step down from, like, the commandant.
Right.
And it's like, oh, this big problem, him with this field day video, because Mothers of America, what are they gonna think? And he called like everyone who was involved in it, so that it like ended up being like 20 motherfucking guys in the sergeant major's office, all at parade rest and everything. But I do remember like a funny part of it. He was like, he I don't know if he like meant to say it, but he was just like, so you depicting hazing, you threw a mattress off the catwalk, you got fucking females in the video, like, what are you doing? I was like, hold on, what's wrong with having women in the video?
All this stuff really happens. What the fuck? Now that we're
Yeah,
showing it, it's bad.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
Um,
God.
so he was like, you're gonna take it down. I was like, Roger, like, Wilco, I'll take down the video. So I did, but unbeknownst to me, just once we were on the radar, that is when we like went on the radar of hire, I guess. We were officially there. And so I want to say like 2 weeks later, some guidance comes down to battalion, and it is from the 1st Marine Division Public Affairs Officer. And it is in regards to some videos that were concerning, as they said. It's like they didn't. That was the verbiage that they used. Concerning.
Yeah, always concerning.
Yeah, and I don't know. The really annoying part of that is it's like, okay, I get them saying, it's like, okay, depicting this PFT video when he says like, I'm not even hungover, I'm still drunk. It's like being drunk during working hours. It's like, we filmed it on a Saturday. Okay, like it wasn't working hours, but I guess if you're talking about depicting being drunk during working hours, okay, whatever. But then there was a couple videos that we put just on Facebook, and they brought up like the use of the word wook. And they're like, this is really concerning. I'm like, okay, I get it. Yeah, that's misogyny. Misogyny's real. Sure, yeah. The thing is, though, is that the word wook was being spoken by me playing a character that was a personification of like toxic ass, like immature military bros. I was like playing a character, basically saying like, yeah, these guys are pieces of shit. Saying like, smash your pass. Oh, look at this fucking wook. And this was like a year or two before the whole Marines United scandal. So like we were calling that shit even like before it blew up. And then it's like, oh, I gotta take this video down because I said the word wook in it. And it was like, I don't know if you understand what satire is.
No.
Yeah.
Sense of humor is lost usually in higher up positions.
Yeah. And then the kicker was, I guess, the biggest, slap in the face, I guess, is they're like these videos are concerning. There are like 6 videos on Facebook and these 2 videos on Instagram that are really concerning. I was like, hold on, what happened to YouTube? Like, are they even aware that we make YouTube videos?
No.
Like, that's where we started. The Facebook and the Instagram supplements the YouTube, but it's like they're just like only aware of the whole Facebook. I'm like, they didn't even do the research. Um, yeah, and so my first sergeant at the time, he was just like, hey, bro, gonna need you to take him down. Like the guidance didn't even say like these videos need to be removed immediately. There's like these are concerning, and Hire was just like take him down. And for some of them, yeah, I did remove them, and then others I just put on private, and then maybe a year later I took them off private.
Right.
Issue limitations
Yeah.
type shit.
Yeah.
You can only get NJP'd within 2 years of the offense. I found that out during my NJP.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now it seems like I think what was it when you were at Lance, John, you were at 29, right?
I was.
So I can't speak from experience, but I've been told by pretty much every Marine that I've been talking to, they say that 29 is the worst Marine Corps base that you can ever be stationed on.
I guess it's a matter of perspective because I've been up to Marine Corps Logistics Base. I want to say it's Barstow, or I don't know if it's Barstow or if it's someplace near Barstow, and like I'd rather be in 29 Palms than there because it's the same climate, but there's
Well,
actually less things.
then you got Camp
You know,
Schwab and Camp Foster.
I mean, yeah, Camp Schwab. I mean, at least you got some places to drive through, to drive to, like American Village and everything, and you're like on the beach. Camp Schwab does have the best beaches on the
Not gonna
island.
disagree there.
Yeah,
The one thing that sucks is there's nothing there really.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think we
As
visited
far
the
as
time
yeah,
on Station Oki, but the
right.
barracks in Camp Foster, because I lived in the Marine Corps barracks, even though I was blue side, had a very bad black mold problem,
Oh yeah,
and the 4th
oh
floor
yeah,
was actually like the ceiling is falling through. So my experience with the Marine Corps barracks was god awful.
oh yeah. My AC in one of my rooms in Oki just didn't work at all.
You had AC.
Um, well, yeah, it's like one room that I got that didn't there wasn't any AC at all, and then like there was another building where they had AC on full blast and you couldn't turn it off, so it was like freezing. So I don't know what. Pick your poison, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
At least we didn't find any habu snakes in the barracks. We found them outside though.
No. Yeah. I ate a heart of one time in JDub.
We had a couple corpsmen who found one at the corpsman barracks. They cut off the head and then cooked it in the, the barracks kitchen.
It doesn't taste too bad.
No, snake just tastes like
It's
fish.
Yeah. It's just kind of hard to like. There's really not that much meat on it.
But this is
No,
also
it's
coming
very
from the
slim.
guy who also has eaten cat.
I've eaten cat, dog, horse, roadkill, raccoon, you name it.
I've not eaten cat nor dog, to my knowledge. To my knowledge.
This sounds lightweight racist, but it's not. It is a fact. You go to some Chinese food places and you sometimes eat cat. It is an actual fact. So if you ever got
Yeah.
stringy, like sweet and sour pork, and it was really stringy and tough, it was most likely cat.
Yeah. I'm just turn on my camera right now just so I can. I'm just gonna turn on my camera right now just so I can show you what is on my lap right now as you talk about eating cat.
It's funny because I'm Asian, so
Oh
that
my
makes
god.
it worse.
I'm
So,
part Filipino, so
I mean, hey, but I mean, John, after you guys kind of fell off the face of the earth for a little bit. I mean, obviously
Hmm.
that's Due because the other two got out, and I mean obviously you stayed in, and now you're at the rank of sergeant, and then I came across your TikTok. What made you to decide to like, you know what? I'm gonna be stupid and I'm gonna make a TikTok.
Well, it was actually you.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
story time.
Big
yeah,
old fuckery.
it was you. Well, why don't you start telling the story?
Oh well. The thing is like I didn't know that you had a TikTok. Someone told
Well,
me.
well, I didn't have one before.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. So we all know that most like no one on Terminal Boots had any form of social media on TikTok, and then someone tagged me in the comments saying, "Oh, this is John Davis's TikTok," and I was like, "Huh."
that was my sister-in-law.
I was like, "Okay," and I was like, "Oh, John Davis, follow," and I hit him up and I was like, "Hey man, I hope it's cool that I use like Terminal Boots videos, and I hope you don't mind." He's like, "Yeah, as long as you give credit and don't try to make money off of it, we're cool with it." I was like, "Oh sweet," and here we are now. I believe he went live on my account like a couple months
It did.
ago, and for some reason now a lot of people think now that I'm John Davis, and I was like, okay, I'm not. It's like you can go follow because even funny enough, I had a guy who hit me up on my Discord and it's like, is this John Davis? I'm like, no, but this is his TikTok, and if you want to go follow him, give him a follow. Which by the way, you're almost up to 10K,
I am.
which is it kind of scary, or is it like
I don't like. Is there something I'm supposed to do once I hit 10? Like,
I
do I have
mean
to go
you'll be
live and like pop
Like,
champagne or something?
I
nah.
honestly didn't do shit when I got my 10K. I was like, hey, thank you guys. It's awesome. But it's like, for me, I just make videos to make myself laugh because I'm retired and I'm very bored all the time.
Right.
When
I
you're
mean,
disabled, you got nothing to do.
I mean, the only perks the perk that you get once you reach 10K is that you can join the Creator Fund, which means you can start making, in quote, money off your videos. Which, by the way, shadow bans the hell out of you and doesn't pay you hardly anything. So, I mean, if you want to, that's at your own discretion. But
I mean, I didn't really experience any money making on YouTube either. So,
did you monetize the videos, or
I did. Still didn't really make any money.
what's like, if you're comfortable with sharing, like, what's the most that you kind of made out of it? A good estimate.
Um, I can only say that there's nothing of note.
Hashtag no comment.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah,
Moving on.
but you do have to like with YouTube, especially with I mean the algorithm is even more fucked up now.
Oh yeah.
But even a few years ago, you still had to get a certain amount of views within a certain amount of time and like post that video like in a certain frequency. So we were only posting once a month max.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like we weren't getting up to over 100,000 views. I mean, we would get over 100,000 in maybe like a few months time. That's not quick enough.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they weren't long enough. The videos weren't that long.
No, I
They're,
mean.
Long enough for me to get a goddamn chuckle.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, when you started your TikTok, you said it was because of me, but like, what made you decide to start a TikTok because of me? Like, so was it the videos that I
Well,
posted, or?
it was. I guess it was that the Thailand libo brief thing,
Oh yeah,
which
that blew up.
yeah,
That
yeah.
got yeah.
So I mean, I was like kind of proud of that one. I guess that sort of opened my eyes because the other Terminal Boots things were it was a collaboration. Deacon and me and everything, Joe, was the Tylo Libo brief. It's like I came up with that shit all on my own. Like I just got all of my guys to come into like the berthing area, little lounge, because that was on ship. We did film that on ship,
Oh wow.
and yeah, um,
Carrier.
and like what's that?
Carrier.
It was an LHD or so. Wait a minute. No, that was the Green Bay. So no, the LPD.
Oh, gotcha.
Gator
Yeah.
Fleet.
Yeah. We were on the Green Bay, and then I want to say a month later we were on the Bonhammer Shard, which caught
Yeah.
fire like a year ago. Uh,
Yeah, it's
and
a
the
sailing station on that bitch.
Yeah, that's an LHD, which you could say that it's like a carrier, but it's not actually like a real carrier. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a toddler carrier,
It's a baby.
I mean,
even though it's still fucking huge. It's still fucking huge, but yeah,
I mean,
it's not
Doc was
like a
stationed
full.
on a destroyer.
I was
Ooh,
on USS Wayne Meyer. I loved my time on there. That was before I became a corpsman, though, and then ever since then, I've
mm,
been stationed in hospitals.
You said, Doc, that they were
nice.
using a Kitty Hawk still, right? The USS Kitty
Uh,
Hawks.
no, we're using Arleigh Burke class nows for
Oh,
most
yeah, that's right.
parts. So my WEM was my lovely, lovely DDG 108 was an Arleigh Burke style class destroyer. Great vessel. And then I left and it became shit. It became a meme actually because of how many times it's almost blown up.
I mean,
Wow.
while
I'm out now. I can talk shit.
while we're at it, I mean, Doc, you gotta we gotta tell Mr. John Davis here
Oh, self mutilation story?
the K-bar story.
Oh, yeah.
His face.
Does this have anything to do with stabbing yourself through the like in between your fingers?
Mm-mm.
Worse.
Okay, no, I thought it was gonna be that.
It's worse.
No, it's actually worse. It's a lot worse. It's so bad.
The floor is yours, Doc.
so, so this was back in the days when I was a budding corpsman, stationed in Camp Foster. Just got to the emergency ward, still wet behind the ears. Got to know some really good knowledge. It was a pretty okay doc at the time, and everyone in the Marine Corps barracks. I can't remember the exact number. It was the one that's right next to the PX. So if anyone stationed in Okinawa sees this, yeah, it's like not too far from the fucking PX. Everyone in the barracks who was on the first floor, who was a Marine, knew, or second floor, knew of me or heard of me, and knew I was one of the very few emergency ward corpsmen who worked there. And this guy, apparently after arguing with his girlfriend while drinking, decided to do something, and he came to my door.
Do, do
The guy
something
was,
to himself.
oh yeah,
Oh,
not what you're
mm,
thinking, not what you're thinking.
oh.
So he came to me and pounding on my door. I'm drunk. It's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, Doc, I need you to look at something. And I start to notice this man's clutching a towel around his waist. Um, I bring him in because duty's watching, staring at me like, what the fuck is happening? Uh, he gave himself a circumcision.
Wait,
He's
was his
circumcised.
girlfriend even Jewish?
No, his girlfriend literally said, I don't like circumcised guys. I'll break up with you because you're not circumcised. And he wound up telling me that. And he showed me it. And I was like, there's nothing I can do for that. There's absolutely nothing. He's like, what do I do? I'm like, you need to go to the hospital. He's like, what are they going to do if I go to the hospital? I'm like, laugh? This is the longest I've, like, non-sexually stared at a man's penis. Besides the other time when I sutured a man's penis. Two different
He
stories.
needs
And the
fucking
amount that you see it in fucking
therapy.
boot camp.
Oh, yeah, he got, I believe he got kicked out for self-mutilation.
You need fucking
But
therapy if you do
I'm going
that.
to therapy. I'm going to therapy. Still.
Is it helping?
No, not for that. But yeah, he wound up completely cutting off a foreskin with a K-bar,
And he said it was
which
not
I
a
don't
good
even.
job.
Duh. There's no real good job you're gonna do with a K-bar to your foreskin. And to this day, I've never felt so awkward looking at a dick. It was so fucking weird. I was like, this is my life. This is what I signed up for. I'm not even with the Marines. I'm with the hospital, but I live in your barracks. I guess this is just my life now. Yeah, we sent him. I got the duty to send him to the hospital. I was like, I can't drive. I don't have a car.
Did you go back to bed right afterwards?
No, I went. I started drinking. I didn't have work tomorrow. I just kept drinking until the morning.
So you got fucking hammered.
No, it takes a lot for me to get hammered.
So,
And
yeah, John, what are your thoughts on that?
On a K-bar circumcision.
Yeah.
Well, Mazel tov.
L'chaim.
L'chaim should have called a rabbi. What was he thinking?
I don't know. He
Yeah.
was
Or at
drunk.
least find a Jewish guy in the barracks who maybe knows something about it.
I mean, technically,
Yeah.
I could have done it, but I don't have the devices for it.
I just realized that you can alliterate the words barracks bris.
That could have been a
It's
thing, but I'm not a rabbi.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not Jewish at all, so I wouldn't have been able to do any religious formulas for it. Yeah, I was really confused why he came to my door of all places, because I'm like, why? Yeah. Luckily, somehow my name kept out of that, and I was very happy.
Yo, Doc, let's
What's
go ahead, dude.
What's sad is that he probably could have like asked for one. He probably could have gotten one if he
Oh
wanted
yeah,
it.
it could have been like a very easy process, and it's not even like it could have been named a medical necessity very easily. Like there's a lot of doctors be like, oh, you want a circumcision? Cool, let's get that. It's not
Well,
gonna be on your
no.
fucking you know.
Well, also, if you say like I want to convert to Judaism, shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah, they can't even question that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I can imagine there's gonna be a lot of people who are just gonna be like, Mazel Tov, he's coming, he's becoming perfect, because every time I meet a Jewish person, they're like, not everyone's perfect when they hear that you're not Jewish, and I'm like,
You know how fucked up that sounds? Is like he's becoming perfect.
yeah,
I
it does.
don't know if you've ever played any of the Arkham games, but like Mr. Pig, the serial killer who like makes the Dollatrons, he's like, I can make you perfect. That's what that shit sounds like.
Doc is unboxing right now some Black Rifle coffee, not sponsored by the way.
Not sponsored by Black Rifle, but I love their coffee, and I just got their Squatch.
Sponsor Doc on Zed. Sponsor him. Sponsor also sponsor John.
Nobody fucks with Squatch. No one. Oh God, this
Two
is
more
the
stories,
only
Doc,
close.
that I want you to tell. Tell John about the fucking being drunk on duty.
Oh, that's half my career before I was corpsman. What are you talking about? Being hammered while on armed watch.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, tell that one.
I don't think I can go to jail for this anymore.
Nah.
But
Wow.
yeah, I was hammered while on armed topside rover. Caught by my leadership, but they decided to have me pour my booze into their coffee cup too.
Nice. Implicate them as well.
I'm never saying their names. And they're out now
don't.
too.
Oh, don't. No.
No.
No, you don't want to fuck over a guy who helped you out.
Right?
No. They were like, "Are you still drunk?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Why?" I'm like,
You're
"Well,
like,
at the
"You want
time, I
some?"
just learned. At the time, I just learned I'm no longer going to be a father. At the time, my grandmother just died, and I was just like, drunk is the only way I know how to deal with any of this. So handled it very incorrectly, did it very wrong, and I was just basically, if I wasn't out to sea, I was drunk. Except for like some duties, I tried not to be drunk or hungover on armed watch, just because I am carrying an M4 and M9, and sometimes the M700 Remington. I can't remember what the shotgun was. I didn't like it. It was just heavy.
M500.
There you go. It was very heavy and had no fucking nothing to hold it with, so I'd just basically be holding a heavy ass shotgun, just like, why am I holding this? The effective range of this shotgun is not something I want to use outside of my vessel. Inside, it is a paper shredder of just firing on somebody, because it's just buckshot. But
bouncing around the P-ways.
yeah, it's just all steel bulkheads, except for like some of the places that are filled with asbestos.
You're just gonna bust a pipe open with that.
Pretty much, but
it's a casualty waiting to happen. In Navy terms, casualties referring to equipment, not people.
Yeah, but that's what we use on usually lead. The lead guy on BBSS or Surf and Burf will use a shotgun, and the rest will use the M4 or M16s. Most of them have M16s.
I guess that next story, Doc, that I want you to tell. Go ahead, John.
Oh, I was going to tell a story about a casualty.
Oh,
a naval ship casualty. Well, it's sort of like a dichotomy between the Navy and the Marines, but this was aboard the Bonhammer Shard, and 2 Marines a corporal and a sergeant are walking down the P-way. And this is with Battalion Landing Team 2-5. We are aboard the 31st MEU, on the Bonhammer Shark. And they are the only ones in the P-way at the time. They see a pipe leaking, something like that. It's leaking onto the deck. And they run to one of the phones. And they pick up the phone, and they follow the instructions, and they call it in. Next day, there is a ship-wide formation with the crew as well as all of the Marines. And the captain calls those two guys up, and he hands them coins. He says, "These two Marines, they saw that casualty. They called it in. They did the right thing. Good on you." And he even handed them the mic and was like, "You want to say anything?" And one of the guys was just like, just doing what I'm supposed to do. And then whatever. We go about our day, and then we all go into the battalion formation with just the Marines. And our BC, and then our BC is like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, those two guys, good on you for, doing that. Yep, raw." And then the sergeant major steps in, points at the corporal, and he's like, "Yeah, and you get a fucking haircut."
What a dick.
What an asshole.
And I'm just like, yeah.
Raw.
You just helped not sink this vessel with your fucking haircut.
I know, right?
That's great, dude.
Yeah.
What a dick.
That's a funny story. That's pretty fucking. Get a haircut.
Yeah, you did some good shit. Fuck you.
This was also we were in the middle of the ocean for weeks. The haircuts we were getting were being given by the designated quote unquote barbers,
which is now a retail specialist, which is the worst rate name ever.
No, as in a Lance Corporal who's like, "Hey, have you cut people's hair in the barracks before? Okay, you're the company barber now."
Oh god.
Oh god.
At least they send our guys to barber school.
Yeah.
Those fucking barracks cuts though,
no, not at all.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, it's you get barracks cuts on ship. That's how it was.
I'm pretty sure they
But we have a barber on board.
I don't think. Well, there's way too many people for one barber to work with. So they would take all these lance corporals who kind of knew how to cut hair, and they would all have to go to medical to get their license or whatever. Be you basically being put the comb into the jar full of alcohol.
Yeah.
That's it.
So we all got lice. I wonder how that fucking happened. Cross contamination. What the fuck is that?
Oh my god.
Yo, Doc, tell John about the IED story.
Oh god.
Oh, this is interesting.
This story still makes me mad because the guy didn't get a dishonorable discharge. So,
oh my god.
We had a guy who really didn't like going underway. Turns out, and I just got off armed watch. I just relieved my shit, and they told me to keep my M9 and keep my vest. You're gonna go watch something in the fucking barge, because we were doing workups and cleaning all our shit and fixing all our shit. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go watch this fucking rack, on the barge. And no one tells me what the fuck I'm watching. And I'm there for 2, going almost 3 hours. And I'm literally trying to kick the lock off this bitch. Because I'm like, oh, if it accidentally falls off, and I look inside, it's not illegal for me to do that. And I'm just tired. I'm like, this is my tired logic of just, I'm done with the day. And my GM1 comes around and goes, hey, you shouldn't kick that. I'm like, what the fuck is in here? Drugs, dude? And he just goes, it's a really funny story you asked that, because boom goes the dynamite if you kick that again. And I go, you're fucking with me. And he goes, nope. And I go, I've been kicking this thing for half an hour. And you mean to tell me there's something in here that can kill us all? And he goes, yep. He literally just came by to give me a Red Bull because he knew how tired I was.
There's no fucking tape or anything?
It was the parts, and there's a whole parts kit to an IED. Like a whole fucking IED. Then he had blueprints to the ship to where he's gonna place more. And like the parts to make at least a lot of fucking parts to make more IEDs, so I can just sink the ship when everyone was off. Because he was gonna go on the ship when no one was on board and sink the ship. That was his plan. And I was like, I just looked at my GM1 and went, dude, he does realize doesn't matter if no one's on board. They're gonna rush back on board to fight the fire. This inevitable sinking vessel. We're gonna have to
Which would have killed everyone.
die. Like it would have killed at least 30 to 40 people. Because at the moment we're all just hot racking on duty, and there's at least 30 to 40 people on duty. And he goes, I don't think he even cared. And I was like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker when he gets here. But he comes there with our topside rover who's overseeing him, and our MA1 Master at Arms First Class, which is our version of PMO. And I'm just staring at this motherfucker who basically made the bombs to destroy the ship. I was like, I'm gonna fucking murder him. So MA1 gives me a pack of cigarettes. It just says to me, meet me on top the smoke pit. And I go, roger that. I just go up there and I'm just back to forth in it. And then immediately I call my mom and say, hey mom, remember you told me it'd be safer for me to join the Navy rather than the Marine Corps? This is my second time almost dying from an IED in San Diego.
Oh my god.
The first one was a car
that.
bomb. The first one was a fucking car bomb. This guy was planning to blow up a pier with 25 pounds of high nitrate fucking fertilizer, gasoline,
Jeez.
and an explosive device. He luckily got caught at the package store that was a mile away from base. So he made it to a base facility, to the fucking commissary. And I was like, Mom, this is the second time I almost got blown up for my country. In port. Not out to sea, not to Afghanistan. No, fucking San Diego.
Sea Talk, Uncle Sam loves you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even get a challenge credit for that. I got a fucking good job for not dying for being a retard kicking a fucking bomb-cased coffin rack.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I just noticed that Marine Corps bases don't really get attacked as much as Fort Hood
Who the
or
fuck
that.
Green Base? Everyone on there is literally just waiting for the opportunity to get a stateside.
Yeah, but I don't know. Does anyone really go attack a military base with the intention of coming out alive?
No, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think so, but John, you are you're now a sergeant. What made you decide to, since both of them, the rest of Terminal Boots kind of just got out and after their contract, what made you decide to stay in?
Well, I guess would it be poetic to reference a video that I made?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I made a video called Transition Readiness. And a lot of comedy comes from truth.
Yeah.
And there was a little line in there that I meant it was there to be funny, but it was actually true, and it came from the heart. It said, as I say, consider that the appeal of EASing was perpetuated by your seniors who you looked up to and thought were cool, and that the stigma against reenlisting came from the junior enlisted glorifying nonconformity while they themselves were conforming to their peer group.
Mm-hmm.
And that the idea of having a purpose and family stability is starting to surpass in your mind, the idea of smoking marijuana in an off-campus apartment and living off the GI Bill, on your list of priorities. So, I was married at the time. I got married in 2016. My EAS was 2018. And I still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I saw this opportunity that I could re-enlist, get a $20,000 bonus, and I could go work a job that was so much fucking easier than what I was doing before. And I would have TRICARE, and I could have a baby on the Navy's dime, and like just have a 9 to 5 job, and do something that I could actually, I guess, when you're in the infantry and you're just training, and that's your job, is just to train, and you're a larper, you're a professional larper, and it's like you're not actually contributing to anything because you're just using resources because you're training. You're not actually, your job isn't, you're not doing things yet, you are training to do things. So like now I'm an instructor, my job is to instruct, and I actually do that. I teach guys and I pass on knowledge, and that is, I'm like contributing to the whole war machine. And maybe the guys who I teach now probably aren't going to go see combat, but maybe the guys that they train will. And if they don't, then the guys that those guys train probably will. Yeah. So here I am in a job that's way easier than what I was doing in the fleet, and
Right.
yeah, I don't really have any regrets about it.
Totally. I mean, it's awesome because I
Yeah.
mean, I see a lot of the junior enlisted that are um they are in there. They just want to get out badly. Like they want to either get out as a lance or a corporal or something like that. So it's kind of good to see.
And yeah, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. And I refuse to have a reenlistment ceremony. Um, Yeah, because like when I signed my reenlistment papers, they're like, "Oh, and fill out this form of what officer do you want to do your reenlistment ceremony for?" Because like that's actually a thing that you can like go all out for that. You like I had a guy, one of my peers, he was like, "I want to do my reenlistment ceremony at the mortar range with like white phosphorus drop in behind, like in the background."
Shit.
And so there's like pictures of him doing the oath, and there's like white phosphorus like dropping, like trailing in like down the sky in the background. I've seen guys like do it in the gas chamber where like everyone's wearing gas masks and doing it. I'm just like, so in this room, I'm like, can I not have a reenlistment ceremony? Just not have one at all? They're like, yeah, sure.
Like
And I
cool.
got to talk.
Thanks.
Yeah, I got a talking to by my first sergeant because I didn't have one, and he was like, "Well, these junior Marines, they see you reenlisting, and that might make them think like, hey, maybe I should reenlist." And I was just like, "Well, respectfully, I reenlisted for the money, and I and I don't want anyone. That's not a good example. That's not an example that I want to set." Like, I think you would want someone to reenlist for the right reasons, and I wouldn't call the money the right reason.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, you said
Yeah.
you got a $20,000 bonus. Now,
Only saw
um,
like 15 grand of it.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, because of taxes. Or,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
did you get it immediately, or was it like all kind of in increments of time? Or
No, it was immediately.
they're like, bam, all
Oh,
15,000 wired to your account.
yeah. No, imagine like here I am looking at my phone and looking at my Navy Fed account, and
Uh-huh.
I'm like, $15,000 in my account. That's the most money I've ever seen in my bank account. I was like, goodbye. And then I sent it all to student loans
Oh,
and credit
so
card
it's like
debt.
I was about to say, like, so did you spend it all? Did you save some? It was like, yeah, you spent it all.
Well, spent, quote unquote, just I
Sent
don't
it
have any more
to.
student debt anymore.
Oh, there you
So,
go.
At least use it for something useful. I probably would have
yeah,
blown it all away on like stupid shit, to be honest with you.
Now
bunch of
was
hookers and cocaine.
now was it
Not
for
cocaine,
an
but
associate's
definitely
degree
strippers.
or was it for like a
That's why I
bachelor's or?
came.
You ever seen that old YouTube video where it's like, here's a man who's filling out his lottery ticket sir, if you win, what are you gonna spend the money on? He's like, bunch of hookers and cocaine.
Yeah, pretty much. If I win the lottery, I'm gonna buy a lot of stupid shit. And I have a weakness for strippers because in Okinawa, I
I
went
was
to
about to
Oki.
say.
I went to Oki with $5,000 in my savings. I left $5,000 in debt.
Oh my god, that sounds
Yeah,
fun.
I did. I did have a lot of fun, but that was retarded of me. I shouldn't have done that.
I've I've never seen Okinawan strippers before. I don't know what they
They're
look
not
like.
they're not Okinawan. They're Brazilian usually, or
Tell them how
Oh,
Filipino,
much. Tell them
Russian,
how
or
much they were
German.
charging for.
For dances, very cheap. If you want to go to the little special lounge, for like fucking $300.
oh, the special lounge.
Hmm.
Okay, hold on, hon. So, let me guess. A dance was 200 yen, or no. Sorry. 1,000 yen.
I think it was 2,000 yen for $20. Yeah, it was like 5,000 yen for a good dance
Mm,
in the little area for like the area people could see. But if you want to go to the back room, it was usually American cash because at the time we were like 60 cents above yen.
yeah.
Um, so I would pay like American, like 450 the most
Mm,
to go in the back room. Uh, Looking back, I had a great time, but I spent way too much money out of my paycheck. Um, at the time, it was just because it was easier than having a flirt, and I didn't want to play the game, and I was like, I just want to get with a lady. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll pay this money.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Prostitution's
Was
wrong.
was was the rubber complimentary?
Uh, uh, I may have been a corpsman, but don't fucking judge me. I didn't use one half
Okay.
the time. Half the time, because a lot of the strippers there didn't believe we had STDs. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of them didn't
his
care
face.
and were on birth control, so they didn't care.
I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little. Maybe it's a little egotistical to say, but it's the United States fucking military.
Yeah, yeah. You, they didn't think
Like,
so.
It's okay to have that ego there.
No.
mm,
Funnily enough, most of the time when I saw people get STDs, it was from having sex with other service members rather than strippers. In Oki, at least.
actually, yeah, yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
saw an outbreak of syphilis and Schwab.
I I have a friend who, very close friend, who he got chlamydia from a not a student, but an instructor at comp school
Fun.
in 29.
Uh,
Not a student,
uh,
instructor.
those are the moments where I get to yell at somebody who's like 2 times my pay grade as a little low E3. I'm like, wear a fucking condom. And then meanwhile, I'm barebacking a stripper at Chi Chi's or some shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm really the last person who should be telling you this. But I was also the corpsman who would get drunk, buy condoms, and just throw them at people because I just got so tired of seeing people with STDs.
It's tired.
I
Dog's
mean,
tired of seeing
I'm
those fucking Marines saying, "Oh, it hurts. It hurts when I pee." Blah blah blah. And then dog's like, "Boar punch."
Mhm.
I mean, I I'm married. I have a little girl. I have a 2 year old, and
Congrats.
I can just tell you, last time I used a condom was 4 years ago, and I really only did that because I was like, I haven't used a condom in a while. Maybe let's just see. I kind of want to see how if I can still do it, and then I use it. I was just like, no,
You're like, "Nah."
yeah,
Fell out of that phase real quick.
yeah.
I've been thinking about just getting a vasectomy. But then again, it's been like going on almost 4 years since the last time I've had sex. So don't really need them. I just keep them to literally throw at people at this point.
I mean, hey.
That's good.
Better
That's
safe than sorry.
responsible. Yeah.
Plus, I can use them as a watertight baggage for all my medical gear. So I'm like, sweet.
Yeah. I once had it was a one night stand, but the girl told me you don't have to use a condom, and that should have just dinged in my head right there. If a
Yeah.
woman says you don't have to use a condom, then doesn't that mean that you should use a condom?
Yes. 99%
And
of
I
the time.
was, and I was just like, great, it's fucking dumb. Yeah,
Shockingly, never had an STD. I've shockingly never had one. Treated
yeah.
a lot of them. I've almost gotten AIDS twice, but not from sex.
Well, I mean,
From
Yeah.
patients.
I give him AIDS on the daily, so.
That's just ear AIDS. He
Mm,
just like fucks my ear with his voice sometimes.
yeah.
I'm not gonna do it right
Yeah,
now,
they.
but
Yeah, it's crazy. They have the morning after pill for AIDS.
Oh yeah, they do. People want to have safe sex. There is PrEP. You can hop on that. That is a thing. It is readily available, and your pharmacist and doctor will be totally okay giving it to you. It does, however, have a 2 week period where you have to adjust. So you will have eczema, you will have hives, you will have reactions to it. It will not be a great time, but it will make you less accessible to actually having HIV and then AIDS.
And it will, facilitate the process of being a dirty fucking whore.
Yeah, which I was one. I was a dirty whore for a long time.
A whore.
I was a
A
whore.
whore.
Whore. I was the male equivalent to a bear. Oh, actually, I was just a Barracks bunny. I fucked everyone.
Uh, yeah.
Ugh, it was
yeah,
fun times.
Doc apparently,
Mhm.
according to what he's told me, is that he was a whore in the military.
Oh yeah,
He
I
also
You,
goes by one motto: Great corpsman,
um.
shit sailor.
Sometimes you got to pick up some
mm,
nickels to pick up a dime, and I
hey,
mostly fucked pennies.
Great Corbin, shit sailor sounds pretty all right to me. I'll tell you that.
Well, nowadays I'm
I
retired,
mean,
Great infantryman,
so
shit marine.
yeah.
Just kidding.
I never experienced the whole whoring around part of the military or the Marine Corps because I mean, my wife, we became exclusive. I want to say a month into the fleet.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, and so before that, like in SOI and everything, um, I made out with a stripper at one point, but that was it.
It's
It was the only action I got. I guess if that's like
He looks so disappointed
that's
in you and
in
disgusted.
that's the check in the box that I had. Made out with a stripper once who was 10 years older than me
Was it
at
worth
the
it?
time. Yeah, yeah, it was good. I essentially paid for another dance so that we could make out and everything.
you basically just made out with every dude's dick in that club.
Um, how's that a bad thing?
It's not.
I swing both ways, so I don't say
Yeah.
it's bad. Fair enough.
I mean, fair enough.
Fuck.
um, but yeah, but hey, I'm lucky. I had the way that I think about it sometimes, like versus guys who slept around. They never were in relationships. Is like sure
Duck on that.
they had sex with a lot more women than I did, but I had far more just sex than they had.
Plus, you're with somebody you love, which means a lot
Yeah,
more. Like something I would
yeah.
tell my junior sailors when they thought about just whoring around with anybody, I'd be like, sometimes it's more worth it to find somebody, the one person you want to slam for the rest of your life, rather than finding all these other potential slam pieces. Because
It.
the emotional element that plays into sex feels so much better when you're with that person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's way better, and it's actually fun. Like being at work and having guys who are single, and that they'll say like, "Oh, I haven't had sex in like a month," and it's like, it's been like 3 months for me. Oh, it's only been like 5 days for me, and then I can be like, it's been what time is it? 3 hours. Like yeah.
Go fuck yourself. It's been 3 years for me. My girlfriend is currently in California. She's a trauma nurse, so long distance.
Hey, between the time. So the time that me and my now wife, got together, that broke a 2-year streak of celibacy for me. So
Yep.
I
I
mean,
know how it is.
John,
It's not fun.
I gotta know, like, whoring around with strippers. I mean, is it notional?
Not at all. It was completely real.
It's kind of like 29 snaps.
God,
God,
I never got the appeal of that.
I hopped on it when I was in San Diego only because I thought it was funny. Um, I saw so many other people fucking, and then I have actually hooked up with somebody because of 29 snaps.
29 stumps.
No, snaps was a Snapchat page where it's just people showing nudes and fucking, and then it got really
Okay.
weird for a period.
Okay. I mean, okay, it's like showing the POV of like the penetration, where I'm like, I get it, okay, but then it would be some girl on there, and it's just a close up of like her fingers. It's like, look how wet I. And I was like, I don't want to see your shit on your fingers. Like that's not
For
It's
some
not a
reason,
like
feeling,
apparently,
huh?
apparently
what
that
kind
turns
of.
on a lot of people.
I know, but I'm not a fucking cretin. Like I'm not into that.
I'm not a
How
fucking
do I
60-year-old
even how do I
male.
even know you're a woman? You know,
I could just be like jizz on your
I
fingers
mean, it
for
could
all
be
I
some
know.
tranny.
yeah,
No, that wasn't very
yeah.
big around 2016, 2015,
I mean, this is
like
true.
2014 to 2015. Yeah. Oh God, I remember all that shit, and I was just like, I'm just here vibing, just sitting around in 32nd Street, Naval Base, San Diego, and here's this snap. I guess I just want to watch someone get railed. Pornhub wasn't even needed back at that time. It was just like so many videos of people fucking.
Poor, I maybe I'm a prude.
You literally have a pretty. You have sex with your wife pretty often, so I can't say you're a prude.
Yeah, but I've never been into like the amateur type thing.
That's
I'm always
different.
like, yeah, it's uh, and I don't really like silicone. It's
Oh,
like
pocket pussy.
no silicone like implants, that kind of thing.
Oh,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
all the titties. I
Yeah,
don't know what you're talking about.
yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I'm
that's.
very specific niche. So that
I
it
like
is
my
a little
girls
prudish.
natural. I like them all
Yeah,
natural. Meanwhile,
natural.
me, I don't give a fuck.
Usually with the word big in front of it. Big, and then the S at the end.
Thick. I like my women thick.
Thick. Yeah, that is a
That's
good
what
one.
another reason I love my girlfriend. 100% natural. Cool.
Voluptuous.
Big
That's another
words.
good word. Voluptuous.
Big words. I was actually
Yeah.
that's kind of a small roast.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's been so long for me.
I'm gonna try to
Hey,
see if we can get another guy to join in real quick,
I
because.
Were any questions?
when's gonna be the moment of release?
She was supposed to come this weekend, but she had a medical emergency, so she couldn't come.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
She
now
found
he's
out
gonna come see me.
yeah, and we're all gonna go fuck.
yeah, no, you gotta go out to her.
I actually have agoraphobia, so even the trip to good old military fuckery was gonna suck for me because I vomit when I'm like stressed out or anxious.
But I mean, like, he could. I mean, so you're saying that he could go visit her. Now, this is true. Now, he could go walk all the way down to California.
It's just a 2-day walk.
You could do it.
I can walk for probably
As
24
long as you
hours.
change your socks and you have Motrin.
I only have to change my socks like 3 times probably. I've done the logistics for this. Uh,
Yeah.
with medication, which I'm currently out of, for my heart problems, I could probably walk that without medication. No, my heart goes to 100 beat per minute just sitting, so it's bad. Don't want
Oh,
heart failure #4 walking on the highway.
and that's also coming from the guy who died 3 times on the United States Navy.
Yeah,
He had 3 heart failures.
Oh, that's right. You said that in the beginning.
Yeah, I've had 3
Yeah.
sudden cardiac deaths. 2 of them mentally
Dude,
scarring 30 people who I worked with. All my trainees, my mentors, and died right in front of them. And they had to resuscitate me. And the funniest thing is, the only thing that really caught on for the story about my death was people talking about my dick and balls. For like a year, that's all everyone talked about was my dick and balls.
your
I was like,
dick and balls.
yeah, just how everyone saw my dick and balls. I was
Oh,
like,
because it makes it sound like you passed out, you had cardiac arrest or something like that, and you were fully clothed, and they're like, "What do we do? Take
they
his
cut off my
pants off."
clothes. They cut my clothes off. And I was so sad because I bought my own scrubs. And I was like, you motherfuckers. But apparently, when you die, you release this really nauseous smell. So I smelled my clothes and I was like, oh, that's what death smells like. Uh, Smelled it many times with having so many patients die in my time in Okinawa because I worked EMS. But I never smelled my own perspiration from death. Didn't piss myself, didn't shit myself. That was the first thing I asked. Uh,
Wait, how long would you be out for?
I was out. I was technically dead for a
So
minute in between both resuscitations, where they had to do 45 minutes total of resuscitating me.
no, wait, was that your first or your second?
First and second. My first one happened in my emergency ward where I worked. The second one happened in the ICU.
The first one was like right after you handcuffed the guy, right?
Yeah, because I was handing. John, I don't know if you know what a 5150 hold is.
Mm,
So it's a psych hold where a patient's actively having a psychotic moment or a breakdown
yeah.
where they need to be facilitated. And this guy just happened to need that. I meet the patient, we take the handcuffs off him, I try to calm him down, I shake his hand, then it results in him thumping me in the chest twice. Not punching me full on, but I'm like, nope, can't have that, because if you're willing to touch me when I tell you not to touch me, don't want to deal with that shit when you're acting all erratic and pointing at people, threatening your wife, who was there. And I was
Yeah.
like, immediate back in the handcuffs, put him in a wrist lock, and told the PMO dude to put him in, help me with this. He was not having it, so me and the PMO agreed on dry stunning him to tase him into compliance. Sounds like abuse of force, but in reality, that's what you need, especially when the guy's pretty fucking strong.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We result in handcuffing him back, sitting him down. I step away, and I just drop dead. Immediately, everything starts closing off, and I drop face forward dead. Which also gave me my second TBI, traumatic brain injury, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, Fun day. And then I woke up in a CT machine, and then I woke up in the ICU, and I
Is
was
this for the
fully
taser?
intubated. They tased him, but I was like still direct contact, so they don't know what caused it to this day. They think it was stress, alcoholism. I smoked like 3 packs a day at the
Well,
time.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's starting to clear up a little bit now.
Yeah, they think it was
All
just a
right.
combined thing of weight gain, stress, alcoholism, and severe tobacco abuse. Uh,
Wow.
so it just all culminated to that one moment where I just like, yep, dead. And
The third
Jeez.
one that I found kind of hilarious though, because you said after you died, you kept drinking and smoked a cigarette.
I actually wasn't drinking before the third one. I was literally listening to music, sitting in a chair, and I was like, oh, I'm feeling myself start to die because I know how it felt from the first two. I started getting out of a chair, just going like, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. And then third one goes off. I had a defib put in my chest right here since the first two, and I died. I felt my defib kick in, shocks me back to normal rhythm, and the first thing I do is I just walk to the balcony and smoke a cigarette, and I say, "Hey man, you got a beer? I just had another heart failure." And my friend goes, "What the fuck do you mean you had another heart failure?" I'm like, "Ah, it's just another heart failure."
It's like I just died again. Nothing out of the
Yeah,
ordinary.
yeah, and I was just like, I don't want to even deal with this right now. I just want to get drunk. And then I got shit faced.
You're
I mean,
such a veteran.
I was
It's
still active duty
ridiculous.
back
I mean, we
then.
call him the angry Vietnam vet.
Yeah. My God.
Never deployed in my life, but I've died 3 times.
I gotta plug my phone in.
But yeah, I mean, before we cut this off, I got one guy who hopefully is going to be joining in here soon, who is a motor T. He likes to call himself a motard, but
Motor to, as they say.
stationed out of Camp Lejeune or Camp Lejeune.
Nah, see, if I'm referring to the man, the family wants me to call him Lejeune, I'll call the man Lejeune. Okay? But the place, too fucking bad. All right, it's Lejeune. People have been calling it Lejeune, all right? Place, it's taken on a name of its own.
Right.
Right?
Hopefully he's
Yeah.
joining here soon.
Like,
Hopefully.
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, okay?
Louisville.
And Louisville, Kentucky is named after King Louis, not King Lowell. All right? You know, so, but I don't say Louisville. I say Louisville.
Louisville.
Now, what about like
Just
that place in Colorado, Pueblo? But a lot of people like to call it Pueblo.
Pueblo.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you can't speak a lick of Spanish, Pueblo.
Yeah, I've always said Pueblo.
I mean, and I'm Asian. I
Thank
can't
you.
speak an ounce of Asian language, so I mean, like,
I
I
speak enough Japanese to get by in conversation, but not Korean. I don't speak any Korean.
so John,
Yes.
so so you being an infantryman, did you ever think about like reclassing to a different MOS, or be like, this is what I want to do, but at the same time, I hate my life because this is the infantry life.
Reclassing to a different MOS. Well, Marine Corps, I was not, 0311 wasn't my first choice. I was actually, I was so fucking motivated. I wanted to go recon. But that didn't work out, clearly. But my second choice was public affairs.
Okay.
And, I just wanted to, I wanted to kick doors and shoot bad guys in the face. That's what I wanted.
Slay bodies.
Oh,
Yeah, play bodies. But if that wasn't going to happen, then just be a good old professional talker. For the military.
well, you have the voice for it, so
Thank you.
A lot of people
I'm
have been
assuming
asking
that's
John to do like
perfect.
voice requests and all that kind of stuff on his TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, same with you,
I've
Doc.
actually,
Mm.
if I had a microphone and everything, I would actually be totally down for that. That's something that I am actually into.
I mean, totally, because
Oh,
I'm
what's
starting a
up?
cartoon film here soon, and I'm doing it with a lot of the Mill Talk creators, and Doc's gonna be in it, and I think that with the voice that you have would be perfect for voice lines in the show. So if you're ever down and when you got free time, I mean,
Yeah. What kind of voice lines?
uh, I mean, we can make you a news reporter.
Mm.
Well, now we see
Yeah,
from
I can do
barracks,
that. that
and now we see the 0311 barracks. It's on fire, so it's Tuesday.
I just
Don't get any
I
hookers.
imagine the South Park news where it's like, Tom, I'm standing outside the South Park Elementary where cannibals have taken over. You know?
Oh
Well, now
my
we go to
god.
midget in a bikini.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking perfect.
So yeah,
Um,
Recon Marine, all that kind of stuff. But you went 0311.
Yeah, that I actually got lucky with that because the contract says that if you drop on request, which I did technically, um, I dropped on request in the same way that a person who gets waterboarded gives up information.
Oh,
I'm so happy I wasn't drinking right there.
Yeah. Well, like when you're a poolee and you're signing a contract and I didn't really understand it at the time, but when a recruiter says, especially, at that time going into recon, and they say, it's simple, just don't quit. That's like someone who's about to get waterboarded and they say, it's simple.
Yeah.
Just don't talk. Just don't give up any information.
Right.
It's simple.
And
And
then we get to fucking testicle torture with a fucking wet sponge and a car battery.
yeah, well, it's not just that. It's not the pain because waterboarding simulates drowning.
Yep.
Mhm.
And at the time when I DOR'd, I was, um, I had been treading water for about an hour and a half, barely keeping my face above the surface. I was hyperventilating, and two instructors were splashing water into my mouth. So, and they wouldn't let me get out of the pool.
Oh.
And I was like making a beeline for the side of the pool. I was like, yeah. So that's it's an odd memory,
There's so
because it's
many.
like it's the same level of it's the same stress response in your brain as like waterboarding would have. Yeah. Um, so I dropped on request, and the contract says that if you drop on request, you become an open contract, and they can send you wherever the fuck they want. And I realized I was like, these motherfuckers. They
I heard.
signed people up saying like, you're gonna be recon. It's simple. Just don't quit. And then they, of course, they drop on request, and then the Marine Corps is like, free open contract. We can send them wherever we want. But luckily, by this time, I had already graduated as an 0311. I was already an 0311 graduating ITB, and then having gone to recon. So after I DOR'd, the monitor for all of the drops, the recon drops, he comes in and he's just like, "Hey, show of hands, who wants to stay 0311?" And actually, like out of like 10 of us, there's only about 3 or 4 of us raised our hands. But I was like, I'm done being a student. Get me the fuck out of here. Like, send me to sleep. Like, I wanna have a weekend where I can put on civilian clothes and go do whatever the fuck I want. Like,
I want my
that's
pseudo
just what I
freedom.
want.
I want my
Yeah.
pseudo freedom. Give me it, please.
Yeah, pseudo freedom, exactly.
Yeah.
Great way of putting it, man.
Yeah, because I remember right after boot camp, we have the rate called, well, it's not a rate. It's a specific job which has no NEC, at all. It's called undesignated, which you can go. I probably talked about this last podcast, but you can go air, sea, or fire, which is engineering, and you will do anything they tell you. You are doing boatsmate duties, gunnermate duties, quartermaster duties, LS duties. Probably throwing around a lot of rates that you don't know, but you do anything and everything. And in my case, you finish boot camp, then you literally go across the street to A school to do 2 weeks or a week and a half of
You don't get a break.
learning. No, no, there's no. It's just that you finish boot camp right into A school where they're less strict, but no civies because you don't get any freedom really. You're on, I think, was it level 1 fucking liberty. So
Yeah.
you don't get to go to the bar. You don't get to go out. You have to be with a fucking Liberty buddy, and you're just on low class boot camp because you're just like no freedom. Like, hi, I'm here now. I literally went across the fucking street. Everyone else is going home, but I'm only here for 2 weeks. It's so much fun. So much fun. So much fun. Caught so many people fucking in dumpsters. And then I hit the fleet, and I was just stuck in TDY barracks for like a month doing nothing because my ship was out to deployment.
That sounds like either good or bad.
It wasn't
I'm trying
terrible.
to
All
get
I
that
did was
other
the
guy
security forces.
on the podcast, so he should be joining here shortly. uh, so John, do you keep in contact with Deacon and Joe, or is it like you said, you told me before that they kind of moved on with their own lives, and um, obviously, like the Marine Corps is not their lives anymore. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to reveal any
oh sure.
details
Yeah.
about their life, but I can. I guess I can tell you Deacon is married now.
Aw.
And I know
Congrats, Deacon.
Joe's in a relationship, but they are both very happy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we occasionally talk, but yeah. I mean, we are in different corners of the country now, so
But now
That'll
we
be sometime.
in our podcast now we got a pretty huge fan of you, John, or the whole entire terminal boots thing. Uh, this is Miguel. He is
Miguel,
Motor T, stationed out of Camp Lejeune.
welcome, Miguel.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Nothing much.
How's
Fucking.
how is it down south? About 4 hours away from me.
Oh, I got cut off. Oh, shit. Oh, no. My
This,
bad. My reception's kind of ass right now. It's been raining all day.
Yeah,
So
same here.
I'm only, a few hours away from you? Not that far.
Oh yeah, no, we had like a severe thunderstorm or something like that, so it was probably going up the coast.
We ran a PFT this morning in the fucking rain. It was horrible.
I have one next week. I'm not looking forward to it.
I mean,
PFT
meanwhile,
season.
me.
It's my last one. I'm pretty sure it's my last one.
Meanwhile, me.
Sheesh.
Retired, medically disabled. Oh,
I
it sucks. It sucks.
Hell yeah.
It's
but
surprisingly dry in Washington right now. It hasn't rained in a few days. I probably jinxed myself.
It's supposed to rain all week for the East Coast.
Yeah.
West Coast is the best coast, baby.
I don't know about that, but
At
Hey,
least we
hey.
have water coming down from the sky.
I'm in Washington. I'm literally in the rainy state.
Oh, okay.
I'm not in California. I'm from California, but no.
If I lived in California for 4 years, can I say that like I'm a Californian?
I'm having a stroke. No.
that's basically the same way. That's basically saying that if you were living in Texas for 4 years, can you call yourself a fucking Texan?
If my dad was born and raised in California, can I say that I'm half Californian?
whoa, what the
Sure.
fuck was
Sure.
that?
Sure.
Sure.
I'm just like, kinda. Are you
Someone
liberal?
just
Because
threw
then
a
you would
fucking
totally
Heineken
be.
fucking cap at me.
he has no opinion.
Well, anyone who thinks that California is all liberal clearly didn't go inland.
It gets
Mhm.
very red towards
Yeah.
But speaking like towards like
outward.
Los Angeles kind of side or like all that kind of stuff.
I fucking hated LA. I don't know. Anyone
Hey.
who's from LA, no offense, but I fucking hated it.
I don't like Kelly one fucking bit.
I love visiting there, but I hate staying there. Especially since I'm trying to become a gunsmith. I'm like, I don't want to deal with the legalities of dealing with that.
Yeah, and it seems like
Like,
me allowing me letting Miguel in our podcast, John, he's been a huge fan of you ever, and well, you and the whole Terminal Boots kind of crew,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of is getting him through his enlistment. So, I mean, Miguel, if you got any questions to ask him or anything like that, you can feel free to ask anytime.
All ears.
since we're talking about fucking Cali, I remember watching your fucking video about how beautiful 29 Palms is. An exaggeration.
29 Palms or Camp Pendleton?
No, it was Camp Pendleton, then it just went to 29
Yeah.
Palms. And then
Oh, yeah.
motherfucker comes up and starts screaming at you. It's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
yep, that's it. I was there for a couple months for fucking ITX and MWX, and shit's fucking ass.
You know, so you're there for ITX, and I think what a lot of people, underappreciate about 29 Palms is like you can do shit in 29 Palms training wise that you can't do anywhere else,
Oh, yeah, of course.
anywhere. Like, I think you being stationed there, we took it for granted that it is the premier live fire training center in the world.
Mm-hmm. We
Yeah.
would destroy our fucking trucks out there, like legit destroy them. It was so fun.
Oh yeah.
Such a good time going through like the tank trails and shit, going through LZ Mars and all, and we get to fucking meet the Brits that would trade you fucking their whole uniform just for a fucking K bar. Crazy motherfuckers.
Anyone ever ask you to bum a fag?
You know,
I've heard that before. I was like, thought I'd never hear that in my life, but sure.
I mean, I'm right here. They could buy me any day. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Just talk British to me.
I
That's all you
remember
have to do.
watching your videos back when I was a poolee back in like 2018 or 2019. A long time ago.
Jesus
I don't want to
Christ.
say it
it's
wasn't
like
like a long
college
time ago. It was a
football.
couple years ago.
I mean, currently he's a Lance Cooley, but he's about to pick up Corporal.
Who
Ah,
that?
Soon to be.
well, soon to be. Congratulations.
Fuck,
Yeah.
I hate these books.
Keep
He
on
is
the
still,
straight and narrow.
John is still
Don't-
your superior. You will address him as Sergeant Davis.
Fuck
Uh,
that and fuck, yeah, fuck you.
I have to sign a parade of rest on the phone. So turn on your fucking camera.
Gotta stand at parade rest when you're talking to him. He is your superior.
oh God,
Technically.
that just reminds me of
Yeah.
that fucking douchebag E6 video. I'm
You
never
gotta
gonna
be
forget
standing at the parade rest when you're commenting to me.
Oh my
No.
fucking god. You will report in each comment you do. Like, bro, what?
Fucking.
I
don't
would
even know.
never expect to see you on TikTok though. You were gone forever, and then I found you on fucking TikTok one day. I'm like, oh,
It's funny enough because he said he was on
whoa,
TikTok because of me.
yep.
So
I was not
yeah,
expecting that whatsoever.
I think it was okay. So my students would like they pointed it out at first, like oh Sergeant, I saw you on TikTok. I'm like, I'm not on fucking TikTok. They're like, oh, well, there's this one. Well, and actually, there was one that I guess no one else knows that I'm in it, but it like blew up over a year ago. But it was like this video of some of my students, and we're in the pits, and they were like sprinting down the pits with the moving targets because it was
Oh,
like, yeah,
uh-huh.
I don't know if you've
Tables
seen
to
it
be
at all.
I saw
And
that
it's
one.
like a guy trips and like knocks one of the targets over and everything.
Yes, seen that
I'm
one.
the guy who's like 5, go, 4, go. Like I'm calling it,
You were
So a
a
lot of
pit
people don't know that
NCO?
I'm in that one. Yeah, that was my course. Um,
Fuck the pits.
yeah,
It's miserable.
that was DM. But anyway, yeah. So my students told me about it, and then it like even showed up like on my sister-in-law's feed. My sister was like, "Oh my god, Jonathan is like video is blowing up," and then both my sister-in-law and my wife are like, it's like you should, look into making new things, and I had this like glimpse into this, this idea because for the longest time, having like terminal boots, even if I would, post a meme or whatever, do something on my own on Instagram, it's like I had to make it military related somehow because it's like that's the niche, and I don't want to. I have some weird obsession with artistic integrity or whatever. But with TikTok, I can just be me and I can make whatever the fuck I want, and it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be long. It can be something short, and yeah. I guess the weird thing is filming vertically. I'm not used to that. I still feel like a fucking high schooler filming vertically.
Feels like you're just on Snapchat, just fucking posting it and shit. It feels really strange, doesn't it? So where did like the rest of the crew go? They're just doing their own thing.
Yeah, we discussed that. They're just on their own.
They're
doing their
in
own thing.
civilian world. Yeah. Joe's getting a electrical engineering degree. Deacon became a firefighter. I know that.
Oh,
Could have
that's
swore I saw him on fucking Vet TV one point. I was like, wait, hold on, these guys look familiar as fuck. I was like, hold on.
That was, I want to say that was back in 2017.
Yeah, during the what was it?
It was before it, like it was the trailer, and Donnie O'Malley.
Hey, I'm Rudy Reyes.
Yeah, we just drove over to fuck was
Donny O'Malley.
no the town in it's like past Palm Springs. I forgot. I can't even remember the name of the California city, but yeah, it's like halfway between Palm Springs and LA. Yeah, we went there and just like as a favor, we were there for like a day or two, and
Okay.
yeah, I just brought my flack and my frogs, and yeah, we just filmed that thing that was in the tent. So
So, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna say, but if
I'm
you
just
were if
general.
John, if you were invited to be part of Vet TV, would you see yourself being part of the Vet TV like TikTok creator or the crew or whatever it may be, or is it kind of like, I got like a bigger things I want to do,
well, I don't know if it's like I don't know bigger things.
or just maybe being busy with being in the Marines, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I know I've had experience, being within this niche community,
Mm,
and I mean that TV definitely has its place,
sure,
its spot. It's found its little niche to set in. Um, but personally, I'm not of the school of thought that um, certain brands of humor or like that like oh only people in the military could like get this humor. I've never really been a part of that mode of thought because it's like lots of people get dark humor. um and I don't know, I just feel like you're limiting yourself so much if you are like trying to stay within this like military thing.
sure,
um yeah, it's like you can make funny things, and I like almost half of my life now is spent outside of base where I'm not in uniform. I'm just a normal person. But yeah, I also go to work, and I'm in the military. So it's like there's lots of different facets of what's funny. Yeah. Um, as far as being part of that TV, I mean, right now I've already got a job right now.
oh yeah,
So yeah, I've got a full-time job, and we're understaffed, so I don't have a whole lot of free time. Um, I mean, after this job is done, I guess it would be on depending on how much I'm getting paid. But
sure. Because
That's
like
fair.
I've gotten so many comments saying, oh, John Davis from Terminal Booth should be part of Vet TV, and I was like, well, I mean that's kind of up to him, but yeah, I mean I thought now would have been the perfect time to ask, but yeah, I mean obviously like you said, with your current job in the Marines, like units understaffed and all that kind of stuff, so like not much free time, so kind of a busy man,
yeah, yeah,
and
and
and you also got a child.
yeah, I've got a two
Oh, I
and a half.
forgot about that. Oh shit.
Yeah, I have a 2.5-year-old daughter.
Mazel tov.
Fuck yeah.
She's fantastic. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah,
I could
Doesn't
never
it
have
make
a
you feel
kid,
like
man. Fuck that.
so makes you feel so much ages like everyone's having kids around me and I'm like probably the fucking same age as you.
you can have kids too.
I probably have kids somewhere, but they haven't come forward.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
and that's maybe for another podcast, but we're at the about an hour and a half mark. John, I don't want to keep you past what you've been willing to stay for, but I appreciate you
I'm
taking the
good for
time
now. I can tell
out
you.
of
I can
your
tell you that.
what's that?
I'm good for now. Although, and I mean, if you want to get rid of me, I'll go. But
I did want to say that I do thank you for taking your time out of your night to spend a good hour and a half with us dumbasses, and I mean, I hope to have you in a couple future podcasts, and I mean,
You've popped my podcast cherry, my friend.
I
This
got,
is
I
the
got
first one
another.
I've been on.
I got
Doc's
another
Doc's
cherry I
got
pop.
Oh,
Doc's got
one
a
check.
present for you. It's got the good
You
old
ever watch
silver bullet.
Criminal Boots?
Have you been
You
hydrated?
never watched Criminal Boots?
That
Never
looked
mind.
a little too small
Oh
to
God,
be
no,
what I think it is.
Doc.
I guess it's
I
the
mean-
newer version.
It's just an electronic one. It smells the same though.
Never
It
has
smells
been up
like kids.
anyone's ass.
I mean, can be.
Doc, did you ever clean
John,
that?
Yes.
do you want that silver bullet? Doc's offering.
Okay. Trevor,
I just had to
think
be
of
awkward.
the biggest shit you've ever taken,
Yeah.
and then compare it to that thing. Is it really that big of a deal?
I could get bigger.
No.
Yeah, exactly. And when people are like, "Oh no, the silver bullet! I don't want to get the silver bullet," I'm like, "You take shits every day that's bigger than it. Like, come on."
It's like this is
I
nothing.
mean, it's not like you're getting a Ranger IV, so.
It's not like you're boofing.
Oh God. So many people did
Jesus.
that. So many people. I've had so many people actually come in and tell me they did an alcoholic enema with tampons, and I'm like, please don't ever tell me anything.
Oh.
I was like, please don't ever tell me this shit.
Doc.
I know people who they put beer in a soap dispenser and squirted it into their butt.
What the Okay.
Well, okay. All right.
Well,
That's new for me
I mean,
too.
if you don't know the science behind it, is that the alcohol when it goes in, that's why there's such thing as suppositories instead of pills, because it bypasses your liver and it goes straight into your bloodstream.
Yep.
So if you only have if you don't have any alcohol, but you found like a leftover beer that's on the counter that's only like half full, you can get blacked out drunk on that beer if you put it up your ass.
Don't do that.
No. Yeah, don't.
No.
You could die.
You can die very fast. Also, if you ever think
Don't
about
drink the
IVing
water.
alcohol,
Don't have hookers, or you'll die.
yes.
What
Ken
about
said
Don't go
that.
to Platinums.
Do not ever IV alcohol.
Oh God.
I've had multiple stories of people trying that. I've seen what it does to people. You can go straight into a fucking renal failure and have an edema, which is a clot in your heart. I mean, your bloodstream. It will travel to your heart and eventually kill you. Like, don't IV alcohol. I've had 2 corpsmen try to IV fucking chocolate milk. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I just work here. I was just like,
No.
and they didn't die. None of these people died, but they got very fucking close.
Oh,
Jesus, bro.
I don't know why you do that. I did have alcohol poisoning once, and I got a real IV. That shit was fucking magic.
Yeah.
I remember the only time I
Animatics.
was given an IV was for when I was in the rollover. That shit fucking, my back still fucks to this day because of that shit. And that shit fucking hurt. I almost died.
Disability.
It's nice.
Because like when we were rolling, and obviously, John, you've been in the Humvee, right? Obviously. So fucking when we were rolling, my fucking seatbelt snapped right the fuck off, and my door just went flying open at the same time. And then my rifle hit me right in the back of the fucking neck. My rifle broke. Mention that.
You
So
were
I had like, I was, luckily, thank God. If I wasn't, I would have been dead. Guaranteed.
Jeez.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Doc.
So
I need
So it like
silver
rolled over
bullet.
into a ditch?
say it again.
Or did it just like roll over into a ditch, or did like what?
It did actually. It was in AP Hill in Virginia last year.
Oh fuck! I've been on AP Hill.
It's dog shit. And that shit fucking hurt.
Yeah. I mean, did you go to the local gas station for some comfort food? Because that's really the only place you can go.
Doc literally
And
after
AP
us,
Hill.
like, he took us to the hospital. Once we got checked out, he took us to Mickey D's, and we were just like traumatized as the fuck
Right.
the whole time.
Nuggies
Eating
and go away.
There is like a McDonald's and a Subway that's like 20 minutes away.
Yeah, it is.
I do remember that. Yeah.
We were
The
literally just like
nuggies.
traumatized, not talking, just eating our fucking food in the backseat of like a truck. Jesus.
Slowly
Oh my
shaking,
God.
eating your food.
Fucking ATL, man.
People are like, oh, rollover sims are so fun. Yeah, just wait till you get an actual fucking rollover. That shit's fucking painful. I guarantee you.
Oh yeah.
It's so fucking bad.
I was once in an LAV that drove off of a small cliff.
Oh, jeez.
It was maybe a cliff that was maybe like 6 or 7 feet high, but
It
still,
still hurt. Yeah.
you can call it a cliff. And I was completely. Thankfully I was laying down with my feet facing the front. If I could have broken my neck had I been laying the other way, but
Yeah.
you're going from completely outstretched to now you are in the fetal position. In
Literally.
real quick. Just get smashed. So I was not in a rollover and had a bunch of shit hit me like you did, but I guess I can understand the shock.
Are you just deep throating something over there?
Fuck was that, Trevor?
I choked on my vape. Sorry, guys. Please continue.
Okay.
Just me choking on
I
the
thought you
dip
were
that is
moaning
my
again like you did earlier, you little shit.
I.
vape. Hey.
Okay.
It is Pride Month.
And I'm part of the LGBT, the B part.
I mean, so
John,
is
I
John.
literally, there was this one time where I joined the call and I just fucking went, aye. And then now there's this motherfucker doing it every single fucking time.
It's kind of like
And
how
now
I
he's,
always say, "Have you tried getting good?" And he takes that from me.
and to this day, the Humvee is still in deadline and is deadline forever now. And it's still there.
It's John's face. He's like, oh.
Decommission it.
How long has it been?
It was in, I have a picture of it. I believe it was July, like 20 something, something like that. It's still
It is
deadline.
still deadlined.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm starting to think that your command just sucks.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's why I'm
some
out of that
shit.
unit now.
Well, I'm assuming
That
everyone
unit's
has one
dog
command that
shit.
sucks.
Shocker,
And if
when you
anybody in
raise
that
commands,
unit
you have
ever
to give
hears
it
this, it's ass.
to
And on the deadline note, it says deadline, period 4, forever.
I mean, there you go.
Cause
They should just, I guess that might be the vehicle that they go get parts out of.
they do. Well, at least now they do, but still,
Mhm.
like in the deadline, like sections. So
Yeah.
I have a picture of it, if I'm not mistaken. I think. I don't know. I try not to look at it because that shit fucking. I don't know. I don't like looking at it.
How I feel about when my friends send me my photos of me in the hospital. I'm like, oh, I loved remembering this.
I mean, then
Thanks,
there's you
God.
sending pictures of your poo poo to me.
I
Okay.
mean, if you don't send a picture of your shit to your friends, are you really friends?
The thing is he said, "Oh, I'm gonna take a shit." I'm like, "Send pics, no balls." And he had the Hershey squirts, John.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can't no balls a military member. You cannot, and expect them not to do it.
He did it anyway, and it was glorious.
John, do you remember the whole accident about the LAV that ended up sinking
In Del Mar?
from last year?
Was it in Del Mar or was it East Coast?
It was West Coast. It was over where, yeah.
Del Mar,
It was
yeah.
like
That is wait, did anyone die?
everybody died.
Everyone fucking died. Okay, so they were doing okay, so I've been there. When it's like a pre-deployment requirement. You have to go and you have to float the VIX, as they say. But when we would do it, so it would only there wouldn't be any scouts in. It would just be the crewmen, the 0313s, and they would be wearing like the yellow blow up life preservers with like the CO2 tank on it.
Rubber duckies.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the Vic would be the winch would be like attached to like a vehicle that was on the land. and it would like slowly be let out, and like before it, oh my god, the prep time, we'd spend like hours beforehand lubing up every single like drain plug and like putting it in so that it's like there's no leaks anywhere and everything. And there was like specific procedures, like if it starts to sink, it's like, everyone's getting out of there, popping up, and you've got like a life jacket. So when I heard about people dying, I'm just like, what the fuck were they doing? Where like they couldn't get out of the vehicle.
Oh, that thing was unserviceable. It was not supposed to go out of the motor pool, apparently.
Yeah, well, and it's like, why didn't it get winched in? Like, why didn't they pull it out like when it started to sink?
No clue, but
It's like
one of those guys that was in it ended up was one of my buddies I went to boot camp with, which is fucking sad.
the thing that disturbs me more is not the LAV that sank; it's the AAV that sank in the ocean. Like 20 guys died on it. That fucking scares me.
When was that?
That might have been last year. It was last year or the year before. But yeah, it's like, that now that they're like had to, they immediately grounded all AAVs like right after it happened. But yeah, I've seen AAVs. They'll go out like offshore, like into the open ocean, to just drive around in their drills, or you'll go from ship to land and in an AAV. Luckily, I've only been on an AAV while it was on land. I've never been in one when it was in the water. But
Nope. Ooh, I just fucked up like really bad. Hold on, my buddy was in that AAV accident from last year in April
okay,
6th. Wait, no, not April 6th.
okay.
Shit,
So yeah,
that was him.
it
Yep.
was an AAV and it wasn't an LAV. Yeah, because with the LAV, there's like it's in a very controlled environment when they're like just floating those. Yeah, but the AAV, they fucking send those things out. There's like no there would be no fail stops.
Yeah, I was told those things are legit like coffins, metal coffins.
I like when I thought about that, I was like, if they ever like say like, hey, you're gonna go be a squad leader again, and you're gonna go be on an AV, like I would probably go buy my own personal 15-minute air tank, like scuba tank, and just like
Yeah.
keep that in my day pack. Just so like if that happens, like I got
Yeah.
something.
I actually, the only reason I knew about that event is because one of my good friends, we got closer after I died, wound up losing her fiance in one of those incidents. So that's the only reason I actually knew about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was also a corpsman, so I was like, it broke my heart to find that out.
No, yeah. I really don't like unnecessary risk in the military, and leaders who will accept unnecessary risk in the pursuit of good training.
Good
Yeah,
training.
I really don't like that. I had a platoon sergeant who we were running PT. We were just in green on green. It's like wasn't anything serious. We were running around 29 Palms, and we were running through a parking garage. And he decided we were like gonna play some parkour, and he had us like jump across a stairwell, and as in like basically a 5 foot space, or I don't know, maybe like 4 foot space, but like we were jumping across this like 30-foot drop. It's like down a stairwell. Like if we had fallen, you would have broken something or died. And like he was having his, playing the follow the leader thing. And I just like spur of the moment, I like stopped the guys who I was with. I was like, hey, we're going around. And he yelled at me and was like, "You don't get to contradict me," or whatever. And I'm just like, in the moment, I was just like, "I gunny," but I should have been like, "Let's go ask the company commander, and I would like to hear
Yeah.
what he has to say." I should have just been like,
Mm-hmm.
"What's mess?"
Mm.
Like,
Self-referred
let's
captain's
go
mess. Let's
talk
go.
to an
Lost
adult
real
about
fucking
this.
quick.
Yeah.
It reminds me of so everyone here knows what a black flag is during,
Er,
tropical weathers.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
So we had a fun run, not from my company or my hospital, but it was a Marine. I want to say same MOS as you, Sally.
what it say?
Yeah, Motor T division. I'm not sure what you guys
Oh,
call each
well.
of those units. So it was a fucking fun run for Motor T operators, and everyone signed off on it. Like their command signed off on it. And one of the runners who just happened to make corporal. He's a 20-year-old. Just had his 20th birthday, and in the middle of the run, he was having heat stroke and ignored it.
Oh,
And
jeez.
he ignored his heat stroke and wound up finishing the fun run until he collapsed. No one knew the signs of agonal breathing at the time, which, if you don't know what that is, it is literally your last gasp for air before you die. And no one could take it because everyone, he was full responsiveness, but, except for talking, eyes still dilated the same, everything was kind of the same. And when we got him to the CT, we had him, intubated because he wasn't breathing on his own at the time. And his CT was fully black of his head. And if you don't know what a normal brain scan looks like on a CT machine, it's gray. It's all gray. But 75% of his brain tissue was black because of this run during Black Flag when you're not even supposed to fucking PT. You're supposed to walk. You're supposed to have water with you. And this 19 going on 20-year-old dude who just picked up corporal fucking died while running. Brain boiled in his skull.
For
And
good.
then yeah, and it was all for PT. It was for running. And then the best kicker was they tried to blame my corpsman, who was our EMT at the time. And that was the first time and the only, well, probably the only time I've,
I'll
besides
tell
the
you to not
WEM,
just fall
my
asleep
ship.
for like 2 minutes. I fell asleep at my desk on top of my keyboard.
But yeah, that was the only time that I seen my leadership, besides on the ship, go up the bat for one of my corpsmen so hard because they went in dress whites, went into the base CO and said, "Okay, you want to blame like the first, I believe it was the first sergeant at the time, and their company commander was like, "Oh, your EMT killed my Marine," and two O5s from doctors from the Navy just went immediately hard stop. We're gonna see about this, and went to the base commander and said, "You guys fucking killed this Marine. You guys fucking murdered somebody, basically." And yeah, that broke me a little bit. I was like, this dude shouldn't have died. It was a simple thing of, maybe not go fucking run when it's 115 degrees at 100-degree humidity. But what do we know? We're just, medical personnel. But no one did PT at Black Flag anymore. Just took someone fucking dying.
That's all it took.
Poor kid, man.
Yeah. He was one of 20 that I lost during CPR. While actively doing CPR.
All right, man.
And you said like his whole like the scanner thing was black, right? Which means like his brain is cooked, right?
Yeah, he had 25 brain tissue retention. So even if we did bring him
Jesus.
back, there was no chance to him being anything besides a vegetable. Like his
Bro.
brain, like all the systems in his brain were melted. So anything that would have actually gone to his organs wouldn't have worked. Nothing would have kept him alive that we could have done. Besides basically putting like Darth Vader, just fully machined, operated.
And all that just for fucking PT, man.
Yeah. And I wish I could say it broke my heart at that moment because I think he was literally my 15th patient death. So I was just kind of like, this is Tuesday. It's fucked up, but this is what happens in an emergency ward. Shit, people die for stupid as shit.
Yeah.
Not sexy.
You know, I've always had the idea for a T-shirt that it would be a parody of the whole "pain is weakness leaving the body" thing. I've always wanted to make a T-shirt that says "pain is the nerve's response to stimuli." Like because it's one of those like things that I feel has led to actual deaths.
Yeah, that
Is
whole
this idea of like, oh, pain's weakness leaving the body, give 110% no matter what, and then run till you pass out, and
yeah.
all that, and
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, until you fucking like end up dying. It's like what?
Yeah, I don't get that mentality because I've had like people in Army leadership, Marine Corps leadership, always harp, don't go to medical, don't go to medical, and I'm just in here over here like, I will fucking murder you. Do you know how bad it gets when someone has like multiple spinal fractures that never gotten checked because their leadership tells them not to? Like a motherfucker
And,
doesn't know how to walk anymore because his back's so fucked up.
I'm gonna
And
be honest with you, Doc, real
Mhm.
quick. So ever since this fucking like rollover, I have not gone to medical.
Please do. Just get
dude,
x-rays, dude. Get it filed. If
dude,
you don't want to get out, you
yeah.
don't have to.
Even if
That's
you
what I'm
don't
afraid
want
of.
treatment, get it fucking documented.
Yeah.
Like paper trail. Just have a paper trail. That's it.
And if you're
Because whenever
afraid
I,
of getting kicked out for this, fun fact, you can literally request to stay in.
because I want to
Request.
stay in, I'm just
Yeah.
afraid I'm gonna get kicked out because you're gonna find some shit.
If they find something, you can request to stay in. Even for my second heart failure, they were asking if I wanted to stay in. That's something. So even though I died twice, I had to get fucking AED put in my chest. They still wanted to see if I wanted to be retained. So you can have pretty bad issues, like physically, and as long as you show the initiative to wanting to stay in and having the ability to do your job, you can stay in with like a medical problem. It just matters in how you operate with it. Because
It's like I can't even lift heavy weight or anything. Like sometimes I'll be on the phone with like my girl, dude, and all of a sudden my back just starts locking the fuck up,
Check,
Yeah.
check.
and then like
Sally has a girlfriend.
finally,
Sheesh, bro.
and
I will say it took me years until I like finally got an MRI on my shoulder, and then like, what do you know? Labral tear.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, I need Doc to give me an MRI.
I,
It's
that's
it's
not even
gonna take a
technical.
while. Just let you know.
yeah,
It's gonna take a fucking while to get an MRI.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Like I got through my MRI, and that's how they found myocarditis around my heart. So apparently, I had inflammation around the sac around my heart, and they turned into scar tissue that's pressing on it. And now they're just like, "Oh, this is another reason you probably fucking died." I was like, "Cool. The fuck am I supposed to do with this?" They're like, "We're gonna
Thanks
put
for
a
giving me
battery
this
in your
info.
chest."
Mm.
I was like, "We're gonna put a battery in your chest and see how that works." And I'm like, "Cool." It went off in January 16th of 2019. What am I supposed to do now? They're like, "Oh, here's these fucking pills that slow down your heart rate and give you no adrenal response." And I'm like, "Cool. So what does that mean?" They go, you will never have adrenaline. Excitement, you will feel it, but you don't get adrenaline. Great.
What the fuck?
Yeah. But I also have a weird thing where I don't get adrenaline rushes in the first place from high stress operations. So, man.
Anyway, y'all, we are over the 2 hour mark, and I gotta edit this here soon. So, John, again, thanks, man, for being part of the show. 100% appreciate it. Um, I hope to have you in the near future. Like I said, I already popped your podcast cherry.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
So that, so yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, hope to see you in the near future. I mean, always keep in contact. If you guys want to follow these people on TikTok, follow John Davis at Conquest of Rechecks on TikTok, Doc.unz also on TikTok, and for Sallie, SallieOfficial on TikTok as well. Mine is plain simple, military fuckery. All links are going to be in the description. And yeah, with that being said, guys, goodbye, and goodbye from everyone else that's in here.
All of you
Fly,
hydrate.
fight, win.
What'd you
Love you
say,
guys.
John? What'd you say,
All
John?
of you
That's what the Air Force says, I think.
What'd
No,
they say?
Fly, fight, win, right?
no.